This guy right over here in the yellow shirt.
Excellent time.
Guy in the black shirt, hat, and headphones.
Why are you wearing headphones? Are you listening to something else while we were talking? Is that a podcast that Brian Bendis talking?
We're balloon. I was just wondering, how do you feel about Superman Red Sun being co-opted by an Italian socialist party for their propaganda? Kind of funny.
I don't know if anyone saw this, but somebody mentioned this to me last week, that the Red Sun image of Superman with a hammer and sickle on his chest has been used by an extreme left-wing party in Italy as their sort of...
You get royalties.
No, but I do get to shoot the censors if we win the election. I find it very exciting. I love it. I love it when little things you've done creep in. I mean, sometimes I've walked through Glasgow and I've seen posted things on the walls, flyers for clubs, and there'll maybe be an image from the Ultimates or something, and they're talking about a new DJ or something. And I love seeing that. It's kind of like we're creeping into the mainstream a little. I like the way that the geeks have taken over by stealth, and nothing actually showed me it more than Joe Quesada and I walked into Times Square, Virgin Records, whatever it is, and we wandered through, and we saw all the shelves had like Hulk, Iron Man, Wanted, Batman, all the DVD shelves was all stuff that we love. And like 10, 15 years ago, it would literally just be us, and our mums and dads and brothers and sisters really wouldn't quite know what it is. Now everyone loves it. And I don't know how it happened, but it was almost overnight that suddenly the geeks kind of took control, and now we run Hollywood and all that, you know. Nobody's making Kramer versus Kramer anymore, you know, now that I mean, it's impossible to get a movie made unless someone's wearing a cape in it somewhere, you know. Bring it on.
Something we've talked about. Look at me. Look at me when you're fucking me.
I'm going to remember this under hypnosis.
When I know you and I have talked about before in interviews about being a European-based writer writing about America. Has Obama being elected president changed your view at all, or? All I've got is or question mark.
Well, see, I never really equate America with whoever's in the White House, you know. I mean, to me, America is pretty much America, regardless, you know. And generally, it's all right, you know.
I would challenge you on that, because it seems like Ultimate, the first volume, was very much George Bush's kind of attack mentality.
I think we maybe tap into the zeitgeist a little bit of what people are into, but generally, Americans are pretty moderate, stroke conservative. You know, like most Americans are sort of around there. You do have your extremists, but I think they're pretty in a minority. What's quite interesting is over in Europe, the international standing of America is quite different now. It's almost overnight. It was really bizarre. It was almost like this big clean-up overnight. Everybody suddenly liked America again. But I never really equated, Bush with America.
I just saw like America.
No, that's nonsense. Because I've wanted to work in America since I was a little kid. Filled out immigration forms. I come here all the time. I love it. But just one particular group of people had some things I disagreed with, you know. But what's quite interesting is usually if somebody's an extreme right-winger, they'll then say, oh, if you're attacking our guy, then you hate our whole country, which isn't the case. You know, I'm here all the time. Can't get rid of it.
Did you catch any kind of hate mail about? Because the Ultimates were more liberal, whereas...
Well, there was a little bit of hate mail actually. Like, whenever the Iraq war started, I had something I mentioned in an interview. I disagreed with it at the time when people were all saying they loved it. It was like a 90% approval rate. And on Joe Quesada's board, they actually started a petition to get me fired from Marvel. Some of these people.
Oh God, let's start that again.
And what was great though is very quickly they sort of turned it around and sort of made a joke of it. And Marvel put out a press release saying, well, we believe in free speech, and you know that's the one thing Al Qaeda want to destroy. You know, so you guys are playing into Al Qaeda's hands, and that was the end of it. But really, I had a pretty easy ride.
Do you think European writers have a different perspective on America?
We're just better educated.
Clever. I am going to come back to you, but I'm going to get some other people first. But yes, I see you raise your hand.
They're both excited?
Yes, they're both excited. Go ahead.
I just have a question. Where are the toys? The kick-ass toys?
The kick-ass toys are coming. We did a deal, like, the people who... Have you been sent by the company, by Because the Kick-Ass toys are going to be brought out by there's going to be two groups, and there'll be clothes as well. The guy who put a big chunk of money into the financing of the film owns a clothes line called French Connection. Do you guys know French Connection? All the girls are like that. He said, how would you feel about other writers coming in and working within that universe? I said, that's a shit idea. Because it's always rubbish when they expand on something that was quite good. Imagine that, right, or Watchmen or something like that, you know. They say, hey, why don't we give the Minutemen to this guy and we'll give Night Owl to this guy, and then you have a bunch of shit books instead of something good, you know. So I hate the idea of that, and they said to me, what do you think? I said, that would never work for you again. And like, so they're not doing it, luckily. But I would like, if anybody's going to rate this franchise, it's me. So I'll come back in a year or two and do a sequel to Old Man Logan. That's my plan. But I think what works about it is that Steve and I have done it, you know, and it's our little world and we know the characters. So I think it would be lovely for something to remain unrated, you know. It would be great just if 2 years down the line we come back, and then it's a big deal when we do it, hopefully, you know.
Did it seem odd to you when you came up Old Man Logan or Odd Man Logan? Hey, I had a couple drinks, everybody. Did no one have thought about that before? Done Wolverine at the...
Yeah, well, I suppose it kind of has. I mean, Days of Future Past and all those kind of things, Wolverine the End, I mean, they touched on it, but
I don't like a Wolverine-centric story seems like something they would have done years ago.
I know, I mean, it's the most popular. I mean, you'd think after Dark Knight, they would have probably done it immediately, you know, but thank God they did. I got the catch. Yeah.
Thank God. This guy right over here, hat, black t-shirt, stand up, sir.
I had another question. You mentioned coming back a couple of years now and possibly when the sequel to it. On the subject of sequels, I know you've been said before that Chosen was kind of second close.
Yeah.
No project on that would be coming out.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've just been so busy with Kick-Ass. I can't believe the amount of time Kick-Ass has taken. We were involved in the casting. I mean, casting took 3 months. And we literally looked at every child in America, and we looked at like all the teen actors and all that. I mean, it was weeks and weeks and weeks until we found who we liked. All day we were doing 9-hour days. Then the shooting took 3 months, and then it just threw the schedule out slightly. You know, I wanted to get into American Jesus almost immediately because we have the movie deal set up for that and everything, and they can't proceed until we finish the book. I don't want them to overtake us or anything, you know. So hopefully soon, Peter Gross is ready to go, and I'd like to get on with it at maybe the end of summer. We'll hopefully get it out in the early part of next year.
Now you said you looked at every kid in casting for Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Does that include the adopted ones too?
Oh no, they don't count.
That is messed up. I'm seriously adopted, everybody.
Actually,
I really am adopted. And
Stop repeating it already, man.
I'm gonna go.
this is what the Jerry Springer show is.
Like I'm about to cry, guys.
Hey, I was just wondering if you were to ever if you were to go back, what could we expect if you were to decide to go back to like some of the DC characters?
Yeah. High quality.
I don't know, like I'd fucking kill to see Mark Millar Green Lantern, man.
I would love to do it, honestly, I really would. One thing I think, it's funny, I was talking to Nick Barucci, do you know Nick Barucci, the guy that does Dynamic Forces? And then I was talking to him last night, and he was saying, we're talking about how Marvel and DC, I think it's a little bit stale just now, you know, like, if you heard that a DC writer was taking over a DC character, or Marvel taking over a Marvel character, you'd kind of expect it. And it kind of misses, you know, the big poaching exercises that used to go on a few years ago, DC would come in and do a raid at Marvel, or vice versa. I'd love to see it mixing up a little again. I think that would be cool.
In fact, that's my follow-up question.
What's that?
Is that I think when I started working at Wizard and when you broke through at Marvel was about the same time. And there was kind of a revolution, and like Grant Morrison was doing X-Men, my cell phone was getting some text. That is my adopted mom.
I never loved you. She said, I love you a wee bit.
Is she Scottish too?
Yeah. She is now.